I want to show you guys how to not only launch your business, but figure out the first thing you should sell. Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Brown, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, in this video, like I said, I want to share with you guys what to do for your business and how to come up with your first product, because every business is built on one product. Now, that product may very well change throughout the years, but you have to have an initial offering to people. That way they can buy and you can make some money, right? That's what we all go to business for. But a lot of people that I've seen have struggled with coming up with the kind of business they want to run and the product they want to sell. So I want to cover the step-by-step process that I either use myself or I've used to help my coaching clients to kind of figure out what kind of business they should either start or their next product ideas or just their first product. Hey, I want to start a business. This is what I'm thinking about. What do you think about it? And I want to kind of dive into that area. So I'm going to pull up my computer in a minute here, and I want to show you guys the process that I typically go through. And I'm going to throw out a bunch of different ideas because I don't think that this is one thing where I could say like, hey, it's going to be power washing or landscaping, or maybe it's plumbing or carpentry, but it could also be an online business because the online world is starving for so many different things. And the moment you learn this and you watch this, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. That's so easy. Now I know how to go not only find the product that I want to make, but how to sell it, right? That's the best feeling in the world, is not only having a product, but how to sell it and finding that audience as well. And this is not so much content marketing. This is not making YouTube videos. This is literally, hey, I have the solution to your problem. Would you like me to assist you with it? And I may even get into a little bit of pricing, but pricing could be very difficult depending on your region. For example, if you sell bounce houses or rent out bounce houses, it is significantly more expensive up on Long Island versus down in Florida because you have a shorter year up in Long Island. So you have to make that money, and in Florida it's much cheaper. It could also be insurance and other variables that go into your business that may drive cost up or down. So I'm going to pull up my Facebook first here, and this is probably the best spot to start off with as far as figuring out a product. Now, I've pulled up a couple other things. I've pulled up Quora, I've pulled up YouTube, and I've pulled up Google because I think Google is such a highly untapped resource when it comes to developing the product of what you're looking for and finding out what industry really needs it. So the first thing you have to figure out is, one, what kind of industry do you want to get up to? Because most people have no idea. And if you do, that's great. If you don't worry about it. This video is here to guide you and help you mingle and figure out where you belong. But ultimately, figure out a couple different things. One, something you actually enjoy doing. I think a lot of people get really misconceited or have a misconception of, I need to go to business to make a lot of money. You'll make a lot of money regardless of what you do, as long as you're good at it and you like it. And you have to figure out those two things. What are you good at and what do you like? Once you have an idea of that thing, maybe you don't have to say like, I want to be a carpenter. You might just say, hey, I need to work with my hands, or I want to work with my hands. Great. Now we have a specific little area where if you're like, hey, I don't mind what I do, I just really like working with my hands. Maybe I like working with my hands, I like being outdoors, right? Or you're like, hey, I never want to leave my house ever again. And that's great. So you have to figure out what works for you and what you really like to do. Maybe it's cleaning. Maybe you love cleaning, right? And maybe you love talking to people. Go be a cleaner somewhere. If you don't like talking to people, but you really like cleaning, maybe power washing, because you're not going to talk to people. It's too loud. You have to kind of get a little creative with it. And I want to show you guys that process of what it looks like. So let's just say you want to get into cleaning and being and talking, right? So let's just say, I don't know. Let's just say cleaning companies near me. Maybe you want to do commercial cleaning, right? And here you go. So there's a couple services here. So we have a cleaning service, and I just want to look at a couple other cleaning services here, and this is close to my house. And looks like a decent amount of cleaning services, right? And the reason why I'm telling you this is you want to look for one thing on here, and the main thing is actually, what are the reviews? Are the reviews generally good or are they bad? If they're generally good, a lot of competition, it's going to be pretty difficult to get yourself in the door. But if you do, maybe it's commercial cleaning companies near me. This now very much so changes the aspect. So you still have a couple in here. There's only a handful in here, and you'd have to do a little bit of research. They have some decent reviews, not too many. I mean, they're still showing up. Molly Maid might very well be a commercial cleaning company, and you have to go do a little bit of homework. But ideally, you want to start messing around and playing with what industry or what basically what industry you want to get into, and then you want to start doing some homework on that area. And the reason why I say do homework is because if you're starting a business and you want to give yourself the best advantage. Now, this is probably a little bit of most people are like, you're kind of crazy if you do this, but honestly, if you're really open to doing anything, go see where there's a void in this in I don't want to say the system, but maybe it's tree removal near me, right? Tree removal near me, 24/4. Couple of companies in here, Dixie Stump Removal, Home Services at the Home Depot, right? So there's 3 or 4 companies in my area over here. And then if you scroll out a little further, Dry Pond Tree Service, right? That's not that many companies in this area, right? Could be a good opportunity. 24, 41, 8, 121, 16. Okay, so there's obviously less competition in here. Maybe let's just do seal coating. And I'm doing near me because if you want to go outside and you want to meet people, you can then, this is a great place to start because you want to see what's local, what are people, what's the feedback people are getting. Okay, now we're getting into some space here where it's really not that many people that are competing. Now, yes, I totally understand there's a lot of companies in here, but just to give you an idea, this right here is a 20 to 30 minute drive. So, I mean, these guys are a bit of a distance away, and even if I pull out a little further in here, there's really not too much competition for seal coating. So if you want to work outside, you want to get a little dirty, this might be a great spot for you to go. And now you're probably wondering, well, how much does seal coating cost? And I'm going to tell you the first thing to do is go to Google, and then the second thing would be actually Cora. So I would say go in here and just type in how much does seal coating cost? Right, and typical seal coating, 10 to 30 cents a square foot. Right, you can measure it to some degree how much a square foot is, and you can give a good price. Like, hey, maybe you're not ready to charge 30 cents, but maybe you're ready to charge 15 or 20 cents per square foot. You get a parking lot with 100,000 square feet. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of space times 0.20. I mean, 100,000 square feet times 20 cents is $20,000. I mean, that's pretty good money. Now, obviously, you're probably wondering, like, wow, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. You have costs up front. You have to pay for the machines. You have to pay for potentially other labor. There are some things that go in there, but you might make $5,000 to $10,000. I don't know what the profit is on seal coating, but this is a really good way to say, like, okay, great, 10 to 30 cents a square foot. What you could also do is you could tell these companies, and this is kind of a way that most people really hate, but I think it's really, really good to call them up and say, hey, I have a 200-foot long driveway by 15 feet wide. How much do you think it would cost to seal coat it? There's no bricks or anything like that. And get an idea of how much these people are charging for residential and commercial seal coating. Boom, now you have a product, you have a solution, you have a price for it, and you know that there's not that much competition in the area, which is huge. Now, the reason why I mentioned Facebook and Cora is, one, you could go to Cora and ask maybe how much is seal coating, and sometimes the information here is really, really good, and sometimes it's less than ideal. Or you can just take this and just do Cora. You just type it in Cora. And Cora is just a question and answer type of format, but here you go. Here's Home Advisor, what Home Advisor is saying. And once again, take these numbers with a grain of salt. So 14 to 25 cents per square foot. Average seal coating costs about $475 with the typical cost range of $252 to $701. I mean, wow, that's pretty impressive as far as the information they're giving you. What is seal coating and what does it do? Okay, it's some good information for you to know. Hint, hint, this is a great blog for somebody to write about because there's just not that much information about it. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to start to look at Facebook and you don't necessarily want to pitch your products, but you could do like Lake Norman, and this is around where I live, no rules on online yard sale, small business network. And you could just start out by getting into some of these groups and just saying, hey, I'm a new business owner. This is what I'm doing. Would somebody be interested in guiding me on how to start my business or potentially showing me how to get more customers. And by you saying that and just say, hey, I'm starting a seal coating business, there is nothing better than one entrepreneur supporting another one. It is probably not only my favorite thing, but there are so many opportunities for other people. And it's an entrepreneur thing. They just love supporting other entrepreneurs. And it's really cool. I mean, this is a great spot to just say, hey, I'm starting my business. I'm thinking about doing some seal coating. Not sure how to get started, or would anybody even be interested in buying the product. The other interesting thing is you could go into one of these groups, and this is just Lake Norman Small Business Network, but if you just type in Lake Norman, there's going to be a ton of different groups in here that you can then go in and say, hey, you know what? And I see people put it on Marketplace all the time. Lake Norman No Rules Online Yard Sale, Lake Norman Small Business Network, Lake Norman Live Music. Taking a little long time to load here. I do know there's other ones in here. Lake Norman Fishing, what's up, Lake Norman? Like, these are all really, really good spots to then go in and say, hey, you know what? This is value that I could probably provide. I could probably mention or plug myself and say, hey, I'm a new business owner. I just moved into the area, or I'm a new business owner and I'm just looking to get my business off the ground. I've been doing this for X amount of years, not really sure exactly how to break into the local market because I've never been out on my own before. I can almost guarantee the support is going to be overwhelming. Now, we've covered two different things. One, how to start a business and find a business that will actually, there's not that much competition, will actually make money. And two is find the product that you can sell, right? We found a price range, just simply going on Google and calling up competition, just saying, hey, how much would this be? Or going up to your competition saying, hey, by the way, I'm looking to work for cheap. I'd like to work underneath you guys, use your name, or at least do you guys mind giving me and kind of teaching me the ropes? They may teach you the ropes. You might have to finagle it where they're either going to instruct you, or you just say, hey, I'd be willing to do it at a discount. It might save them some money, especially for jobs that they might not necessarily either want or do, right? Some companies just don't want to do residential housing, and maybe that's what you want to do, and they'll send it over to you for a VIG, a piece of the profits, essentially. Now, that is how to start a business locally outside with your hands and figure out a product that you want to sell. Now, what if you don't want to do this? What if you're like, no, I have no interest in doing that kind of stuff. I don't want to go outside. I just want to stay home all day. Well, figure out, once again, what you like to do. There are tons of people starving on the internet for a variety of different things. So that could be getting them more exposure. Are you good at online exposure? What have you done in the past is really a great place to start, to say, are you qualified to start making these videos? Or better yet, this content, or helping people in some way? Or is there a way that you can go in and say, hey, I happen to be really, really good at videography, or that's probably not the best thing in the world, but maybe it's video editing, and reaching out to a couple creators and saying, hey, you know what? Would love to edit your videos. I'll do it for free for the first one or two. And if you really like it, I'd love if you hired me. And this is typically my rates, but don't worry about paying me until after I do my first two videos. Weirdly enough, you'll get a lot of people that say yes. And yes, you might do a lot of extra work, but when you land a client that loves what you do, they would be willing to pay you any amount of money because you've already provided value. Now, this is one way you could work from home. I work from home for the most part, although I did just travel in New York, hence why my videos changed up a good bit. But these are all things to take into consideration that most people never think about, right? What are you good at? And then if you're curious, like, how much does it cost to edit videos, right? Just go into Google and how much do I charge to edit YouTube videos? Let's just see. I mean, I'd be shocked if people didn't have how much should I charge? There you go. First thing, Cora. It really depends on your time and how much you have to put in the video. For example, for simple YouTube videos that don't require much, you could charge anywhere between $35 to $50 an hour. Do a block rate of $100 to $200 per video. Right? If you can bang out one or two edits a day, that's $200 to $400 a day. I mean, that's great money if you ask me. If you work every single day, $200 a day is $73,000. If you $200 a day, and if you make $400 a day for 365 days, I mean, that's $146,000. So, I mean, that's really, really good money. And if you're a really good video editor, or maybe you know how to do something different, that's another way you can make money. Maybe it's setting up people's Discords. How much should I charge to set up a Discord? Somebody might be willing to pay for this. How to set up your Discord. Okay, so it's giving you an option to do that. But maybe some of these, I know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are really interested in having their own Discords or having their own Facebook community. This is a great spot to start, which is starting out and saying, hey, I know how to do something. I'm probably pretty good at it. Now, you're probably going to charge a lot less for a Discord server because it's a lower barrier to entry, right? Keep that in mind. The harder it is for most people to do, the more money you can charge for it. The easier it is for somebody to do, the less money you can charge for it. So maybe cleaning your house is probably, most people can clean a house. It's not that difficult. No, do most people want to? No, but most people can. Whereas maybe on the flip side of things, most people don't know how to be a carpenter and build a house where you can charge a premium for that level of service. So you have to keep that in mind and think about what are people doing, and then just go into Facebook groups. Figure out the kind of industry that you want to work in, and then go into these Facebook groups. And maybe it's at-home printing. I think that's pretty cool, right? I know that there's a thing called a Cricut, which I am weirdly a part of their Facebook group here, and Cricut Explorer Air 2 projects. I mean, there is going to be so much information on here, and just look at what people are asking for. If you go through here, can someone help me on how to do a font like this? Can't seem to find anything, right? Okay, great. I mean, maybe it's giving people advice, maybe it's teaching people. Heck, I just found out today that there's a whole side of Etsy that people are doing to sell digital products, which I think is incredible. Maybe you're making checklists. I mean, we're probably going to list our own SEO checklist here, but maybe you want to sell generic templates for people to go edit. So here's a simple SEO checklist. Here is an Etsy SEO guide. I mean, Etsy SEO checklist, SEO strategy, DIY on-page SEO planner, SEO keyword research checklist. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And if you want to make 1,000 of these, put them in a store and sell them. I mean, there's some of these companies are getting 82, 4.5-star reviews, 2,503 5-star reviews. I mean, that's a ton of money. Now, I don't know what other services this person's charging, but attention getting seems to be the company here. And most things seem to be about $7 or so, right? Everything's about $7 to $10. So if you think about it, right, and we're just taking a wild guess on the number, but she doesn't have to do any work after these are done. She's done 15,000 sales, right, which is a huge amount of money here. So you have 15,625 times 7.58, $118,000 she's making solely on Etsy doing this. I mean, if that's not the most incredible thing ever, I don't know what is. This is absolute gold. They are making a killing on this, and she's got a bunch of products. I mean, here you go, right? Very informative, easy to read. I've paid a lot more to take Etsy SEO courses and found this booklet to be far more informative. Don't hesitate to purchase. You won't regret it, right? I mean, this is huge. This is really, really good information. And she's done 6 figures on here. After payouts and stuff like that, maybe it's a little less, maybe it's $100,000. But, I mean, that's huge. That if you're not happy with that kind of money, I don't know what would make you happy with your business or your products. I mean, that's a lot of money for a lot of people, and this is the closest thing to passive income. I mean, once she's done. People buy, they get the PDF immediately, and you're good to go. So I hope this video helps. I hope at least I've inspired you to go find a product. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. What business are you starting? If you're starting a business, where are you at in your stage? Where are you struggling? What do you need help with? Have you just figured it out? Did I just spark an idea of how for you to go get and figure out a product that you're now going to be able to sell, physical or digital? I mean, this is the process of going through. Maybe you're an expert in one specific thing. Maybe it's an online course and you want to go find your audience on Facebook or YouTube and teach them something. But either way, what I would recommend doing after you've figured out both of these things, right, the kind of company you want to run and the products and services that you're going to offer, go make content, right? You don't necessarily need a website, but you may want a website. Fire up a blog and just write and write and write and write for the next couple of years. I know it sounds crazy, but either that or go make a YouTube channel and just make YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video, educating, teaching people what you do, how you do it, and how it could benefit their business. And that is how you're going to succeed. So I hope you guys found value in this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below on the actions that you're taking or if I spark some ideas. And other than that, like, subscribe, share, notification bell. See you guys later. Bye.